There we go. Now we're not.
Are we okay?
Well,
I told you it's been a crazy. If you guys didn't hear what I said, it's been a crazy day today.
yeah. Well, sorry about that, guys watching. I don't need to do the whole spiel again. Sorry for the technical difficulties. This is around the metaverse. We're saying what's up to everyone. Thank you guys for joining us. We got some new faces here. We're just saying what's up to Miss Teen Crypto. Thank you for coming on the show again.
Thank you for having me. I love coming on the show. It's great.
We're happy to have you. And then a new face to Around the Metaverse. We got Kyle Willson here. He's been kind of doing content and in the crypto space for a few years now. Happy to have you on Around the Metaverse, man. How's it going?
It's going good, man. We're starting the week off right and happy to be here. So thanks for inviting me on.
Absolutely, man. So let's jump right into it, guys. We got a great show for you today. We're going to be talking about the year of gaming L2s and how IMX just got a huge listing on Binance, their token. We're going to be talking about Metaverse Security 101 and how you guys can stay safe from those scammers. And lastly, how to survive a bear market. So for anyone new out there, we're going to be giving you our tips and tricks on, or at least giving you a plan in case things continue to not be perfect conditions, I guess you could say, or smooth seas in the cryptoverse. But before we jump in, you guys watching out there, don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to smash that button to show YouTube that we're bringing you guys great content every Monday and giving you guys everything you need to know about the metaverse. But the year of gaming L2s. So recently, Binance, or I think it was yesterday? Yeah. Yesterday, Immutable X got listed on Binance's exchange. IMX is actually a layer 2 specifically for Ethereum and kind of focused around NFTs, blockchain gaming, and the metaverse.
Gaming.
So yeah, one thing we think is really going to be big this year, blockchain games. I want to get your opinion, Stache. Do you think that, IMX being a layer 2 specifically designed for blockchain games and NFTs, do you think on Ethereum, do you think that this is going to actually help with Ethereum and scaling, or would you rather find something else, or would games rather be launching on Ethereum?
I mean, at this point, I don't know why you would launch a game on Ethereum. I mean that chain, as far as doing anything native, I think in particular for gaming is dead, man. It's dead, and it's been dead. It's been dead for over a year. I mean, a lot of games were in, game development cycles are long. And so there was a lot of games that were in development as these gas fees started to skyrocket towards the end of 2020. And they have just continued to be brutal. So, having a gaming focused L2 solution here that is as top quality as Immutable X, man, I think that's a lifesaver for a lot of these projects. Because you think about it, like these dev teams are not like, they're not EA, they're not Epic, they're not Riot. They're not Ubisoft. They're smaller dev teams, and they probably put a lot of their time and their life into this. And then to have something as trivial as gas fees, just kind of running away with things, and there was no lifeboat. And so Immutable X is throwing that life ring out, man. Pew!
Yeah,
so I think it's important. I think it's super important to have.
I think too, we're going to see a lot of movement probably from or migrating from games that were currently built on Ethereum over to Immutable X now that it's available for them.
Yeah, we've already seen that.
And I'm curious to get your thoughts, Cagy, too, on so for example, we've seen a lot of games move to different chains outside of Ethereum due to this big gas problem. Like, for example, the gaming space on Solana is blossoming right now. Binance Smart Chain has a ton of games too. Do you think that we see Immutable X start to steal some market share from those games, or do you see games from other chains starting to move back to Ethereum?
Yeah, absolutely. It's already happening. I mean, even from other L2s, they're already stealing. I mean, Ambersor is moving to Immutable X. They already announced it, so they're on Polygon. I mean, that we're talking about from L2 to L2, so that's gonna happen. Definitely from L1s, right? Definitely is gonna happen. People are gonna, because Ethereum still has, the juice, and Immutable is, connected to Ethereum. So yeah, it's definitely gonna take some market share. And Binance is trash. At the end of the day, there's a lot of games there. I play on Binance many games, or I tried many games, but at the end of the day, it's better. Immutable is better. I tried the marketplace is smooth. So yeah, I could see Immutable taking a lot of market coming in this year for sure.
Well, yeah, and it's interesting too to see how Immutable X is kind of being like not only the layer that these games are operating on, but sort of rewards from it being layered into the games that are built on top of it. So, like, for example, I'm pretty sure right now, or at least maybe not currently, but previously or currently, you have to check. But you were able to get IMX tokens for participating in playing Gods Unchained, which I thought was pretty cool. Yep. And yeah, so like. Something that you know you get God's tokens for playing Gods Unchained, and you get IMX for playing the game that's on Immutable X, which I think is going to be a standard feature we start to see across games built into it. And I mean, we're not seeing any other L2 doing that. Like, do you see Polygon? You know, you don't get Matic for playing you know, X game on Polygon. But Kyle, let me ask you this, man. You're big into VV, I know, and correct me if I'm wrong, but are they not also using Immutable X for, or wait, no, I'm thinking of
no, I think you're right.
Yeah. VV's they just reminted all their NFTs. They went from one chain to Immutable X, and they have over 3 million NFTs minted now on there, and it's going to continue to keep bumping up, and the numbers are going to keep going up and up and up. And so they're going to be one of the largest, if not the largest project on Immutable X. So
that's a serious IP right there, man. Mm-hmm. They have serious IP, so yeah, I can see that.
Well, yeah, and I know like there was a lot of concern with them sort of before this move too, which is kind of a testament to IMX, because I mean, Stache, you for example were a bit wary, if correct me if I'm wrong, about VV before this change.
Yeah, well, I mean, and I think that it was warranted. You know, everyone was like, "Oh, VV," and I'm like, I like the concept of what they're doing. I like the app, but I was like, dude, the technology and the way that they went about this, like. You know, they were on GoChain. It was like this obscure thing. It was like, this is not going to make it, man. Like, these are not real NFTs. Until they're on-chain NFTs and you can trade them outside of the app like that, then they're really just digital collectibles. And, you know, anybody could do that. I mean, anybody can get a license and just make a digital collectible that lives inside one app. And so, you know, at the moment I heard that they were going to be moving over to Immutable, I was like, game over, man. That's it. That sealed the deal for me. And, you know, I've been collecting on VV since then. If I can get in on a damn drop, that's the hardest thing, is trying to get in the drops, man. I've missed some really good ones and I'm pissed.
It's tough. It's tough.
It's tough. And so like I really try not to go to the secondary, like, you know, to go get it, because it's like an instant like 5 or 10x markup on that. And you know, so I think that hopefully we'll see a greater integration actually with Immutable. And you can actually start to, you know, use things like tokens, because one of the things, the only gripe I really have is just the fact that, you know, you're not using native OMI in the app and things like that. So I think hopefully with Immutable X as kind of a back end, they can hopefully integrate some of those things. I'm not sure if that's a plan, but that'd be great.
Yeah, and I mean, I think we continue to see Immutable X onboard more and more projects like that. Misty and Crypto, I want to ask you, looking at IMX and everything we kind of just talked about, and kind of thinking about gaming specifically, crypto gaming, the rest of this year, how do you think IMX is going to do from an investment perspective, like as an asset? Would it be something you'd interested in holding?
I mean, I'm not too sure price action wise, but if they keep on you know, integrating all of these with all these different platforms, I'm sure that, you know, there will be some price action, and I think that people will want to invest on a project that's trying to make moves, especially with not companies, but projects like VV that have such great people behind it, like Marvel, a lot of famous comic books being on their platform. I think that, you know, especially with big names being associated with it and people that collect those names, Immutable X could do some pretty big things.
Yeah, and Gary V, his book games went live just recently
on IMX.
Yeah, they just went live. I think within the hour, like as we're talking, I think it's going live. So.
What
nice.
I'm actually not too familiar with that. Do you want to break it down for us all?
Yeah, it's if you bought Gary V's like books when he ran his promotion a few months ago, several months ago.
They had an insert type of thing you could get, right?
Yeah, you could have got like a pretty much airdropped some NFTs, and it's going to offer a little bit of utility, and it's supposed to be forever, like it's a forever game. And Gary V is going to add some of his own utility to that. So there's a few different things that it will do. So
maybe it'll be incorporated into the conference's VCon, right? Isn't that happening this year? too?
Yeah, I think he's going to integrate it with like V2 VFriends, and then there's some other details that goes into it. But yeah, he's going to definitely tie in it all together for sure.
Yeah, Gary V, interestingly enough, not to say that there's anything wrong with those drops or anything like that, but very hyped up. And something that I kind of want to segue into our next segment here. I'm sure all of you guys who were watching, who maybe tried and got in on the Gary V drop, were in his Discord and, you know, had someone come at you and like get in your DMs and say like, oh, hey, I'm the support, or like, hey, you know, message me, like, here's the drop is live, like click here now to mint. And some of you suckers maybe got played. But we're here to teach you how to not get played the next time in our next segment, going over Metaverse Security 101 and kind of highlighting a bit of an incident that happened last week. We were actually just talking about Gods Unchained. And last week, as a matter of fact, their Discord became compromised. And I think hackers were able to steal like 2K Gods tokens and 5 ETH or something like that from their community members, which is terrible. But Gods Unchained is actually going as far as to reimburse everyone that got affected by this, which is awesome on them. But we want to teach you guys, or give you guys some tips on how to avoid being a victim to something like this. So Cagy, let me ask you, being in the space for quite some time now, what are things you would consider red flags when trying to stay safe from scammers out there?
Bro, don't click on anything. That's it. That's
Don't click on anything.
No, seriously.
That's facts.
Look, on my email, you know, we all get promos here and stuff like that. And bro, I don't click on any link. I don't give a damn if it's a Twitter, looks legit. I know you can make links that look legit and in the back end is something else, right? So don't click on any of that. I mean, when I see like, if somebody tells me, oh, check out this project with the link, I take the name, I look at the name, and then I go on Twitter and I search for the name manually, everything manual. It doesn't matter who it is. It could be your friend, somebody like recently, like a 10-year developer, 10-year in the crypto market. A friend sent them a GIF, like a GIF, little gift thing. And he never clicks on anything, not even from friends. And he got distracted. He clicked on it. Boom. Hacked his computer. A bug went into his computer and they got into his MetaMask. And he lost a bunch of NFTs and stuff like that. This guy has been here 10 years. You know, just don't click on anything. That you have to search manually. That's how I go about it.
Yeah, man, the links are real deceiving sometimes, especially like when you get that FOMO, like when the drop is super hyped up and you want to mint the next NFT collection that everyone's been talking about, and like someone hits you up in the Discord, or like someone posts in the general section of the Discord, like mint is live or something like that. You can't just be clicking links like that.
You can.
Yes. So
they capitalize off of people's hype too. You know, the people get excited and they'll send you that link like it's minting now. You know what I mean? And you're like, oh, I don't want to miss out. Yeah, you can't click on those links, like Cagy said.
Yeah, man. I mean, you're gonna get caught slipping essentially, right? And well, Kyle, let me ask you this, man. Like, you personally, what are some basic things that like you would like some advice from you for maybe some new people out there who are just getting into this? Like, what are some basic things everyone should do to protect themselves from things like this happening? From, you know, someone getting access to your MetaMask, or you know, like someone. I mean, gosh, I don't know. There's a million ways to get screwed in crypto.
Yeah, absolutely. Is first of all, you know, never share your seed phrase or your private keys or anything like that. You keep that separate off your computer. You know, lock down your socials, your Twitter, Discord. Put that 2-factor authentication on there. And you know, there's a scheme going on where they try to, you know, people try to scam you and, you know, kick you from a server and pretend they're somebody else, and you know. And they'll try to get you to do a screen recording. Like, don't fall for that, especially if you're a mod in Discord. But there's good practices. Yeah, just basically don't click on links, don't share your seed phrase, and you know, if you're minting from a sus looking, you know, a smart contract, maybe don't store your primary NFTs there, you know, and have a couple burner wallets, you know. So just stay, you know, always be aware that somebody's always trying to take advantage of you, because sadly, you know, scammers, it's a big market, and just, you know, don't be too afraid, but at the same time, just don't click on random links. And like Cagy said, do stuff manual. I know it's a little bit of extra work, but it's so worth it. And you don't have to you can rest at night knowing that, your NFTs, your crypto is safe, as long as you don't click on random stuff. And a hardware wallet is probably a little bit more advanced, but hardware wallets are obviously great to have and highly recommended.
No Google either, because Google, they get you on Google as well. If it's like a good project like Vive, right? Like you put that, you might get a link that looks perfect. The first one, they promote it on Google, and then you click on that one. I think Twitter is literally the best search engine right now. You just look, see if it's verified, see how many followers it has, right? And then go on the link on that website that they have on the profile, right, on the bio.
Back in the day, Binance or Google wasn't even like monitoring their ads, and Binance launched, and like there's an ad that looked just like Binance back in the day, and people were clicking on it, and it was crazy, and people lost a lot of money.
I mean, not to say my favorite, but like the ones I find the funniest, the scams that I find the funniest are like, I'm sure you guys have.
Scammer.
Not my favorite. The ones I find the funniest.
Like, my favorite scams I've been unleashing on the world, and he's like, now I know all the secrets. I'm gonna get past them all.
No, but like you see a video of like Charles Hoskinson like talking about like on one of his rants or whatever that's been pre-recorded, and it's like send your ADA here and you'll get double your ADA back, right? And then like there's like Twitter bots that like will say like, oh, like someone just sent like this amount of ETH to like a confirmed like giveaway scam, which I mean, it's unfortunate, but there's a little bit of humor there. Come on, a little bit of dark humor there, right? No,
yeah, a buddy of mine like he commented like Alex Becker, and then sure enough, like 15 fake Alex Beckers popped up, like DM me, and like they'll have like his last name spelled with one letter extra, or like Alex Beckler, or it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, the Twitter fakes are actually a really pervasive like issue, and I mean honestly, the YouTube thing could be squashed pretty easily too if YouTube would get off their butts. But Stache, I want to ask you, do you think like that these scams are gonna get any like? Do you think they're gonna? How do you see them progressing? I guess as the metaverse continues to develop, like, do you see them getting worse or getting better in any way, or like how do you think it's gonna go?
I mean, the scammers are never going to go. It's not like, oh my gosh, we figured it out, guys. We know exactly how to get the scammers. They're gone. It's it. That's it. They've been around forever, and they just transition through every medium and every new technology and every block that you put in place. So really, there's no time where you can say, okay, you're 100% safe, and it's not going to be any better in a true metaverse. It'll be like you'll be in a metaverse and you'll be walking around as Avatar, and someone will have the Avatar skin and exact same look as your buddy with the same name. You'll think it's him. You'll start chatting. They'll be like, "Hey, yeah, what's up, man?" Blah blah. And then it'll have like a voice. It'll have a voice changer to make it sound just like your friend. And then he'd be like, "Hey, man, I really want to get this. I want to get this holy hand grenade, man. Could you spot me like 1 ETH?" And you're like, "Oh yeah, for sure, man. Here you go, ching!" And you like, and then the guy runs away. He's like, "Ah, sucker!" And he's got the hand grenade. He throws it behind and explodes you. So I think that scams are going to continue to happen, and they're going to get more clever. It's just what it comes down to is that anybody who's on the offense like that is always going to be looking to find one step ahead of like where's the next vulnerability, right? And all of us have to be on the defense. And so I think that's, a lot of the great advice you guys have already given. And, just in general, what I would say is a lot of times if it's too good to be true, it probably is. And that goes for like thinking you're getting support from an admin in Discord right after you posted a problem in their Discord, and they DM you like, "Hey, I'm an admin, so and so," So and then same thing like, "Oh, send me 1 ETH and I'll send 2 back." Like that. All of these things seem a little too good to be true. They probably are, and some of them are like the oldest scams, just in general, and they're just being rehashed for crypto. But people still fall for them every single day, and it's sad. And like I said, I think a lot of times it's people not paying attention. So my biggest advice would be slow down. I know crypto's fast, but one of the biggest things you can do is just take things a little slower, because you're literally gambling with your money on these things. So opening emails, searching for things, getting support. Just take it slow, man. Don't try and do everything so fast. treat it as a bank transaction. Like, you'd have to go to the bank, wait frickin' line, get to the window, talk to a teller, fill out a stupid paper form that they're not even going to keep anyways. And then, you know what I'm saying? Then it still takes like a couple of minutes. So I think, taking your time is one of the unfortunate things I would say, is to just be a little bit more cautious and take a little bit more time, double check everything before you're clicking on anything and do it. But yeah, I mean, these scammers are going to find more ways. They're going to find more ways and more clever, things to be able to scam people over. So just kind of stay on. And like, Cagy was saying, Twitter is a great place, but it's also a good place to learn about new scams too, because people are talking about them and put a spotlight on those scams. And that's that's where I see a lot of these, when new scams pop up, I'm seeing somebody posting on Twitter like, hey, here's a new scam, guys, be careful. And so anytime I see something new like that, I try and retweet it or post it myself. And I think that's a good thing to also look out for,
I mean, you could never be too careful, man. Mr. Crypto, let me ask you, like, what are some things that you do personally to stay safe out there?
I personally do everything you guys were talking about. Don't click on links, not your keys, not your coins. Don't give out your seed phrases. Always look at Twitter. Look at, see if their website looks good, matches up with their Twitter and everything like that. Just cross check. But I'd also look at the platforms that they're minting on itself, especially if their collection is already minted and they're gaining traction. I would make sure to look out for those imposters. There's a lot of collections that have had people literally copy their images and remint them, and you just don't see if they're verified or not. So just make sure you look at the collection. Make sure like you see all the verification, whether that's on OpenSea, Atomic Hub, wherever you're looking. Just look at the collection. Make sure you're buying the right one. Because sometimes you'll see, for example, a Bored Ape that looks very cheap on the market, but like Stache said, sometimes it could just be too good to be true.
Yeah, or like, because you hear those stories about how like someone accidentally missed a decimal point and like sold their Bored Ape for like
that was insane.
That's just bad fingers, man. That's just bad fingers. Like,
but then you hear that story, and then you see the fake copycat Bored Ape like listed on the market for whatever it is,
That's why
one USDC.
Yeah,
and then you just FOMO in, right? And that's you like Miss T Crypto saying, and like Stache said, you just gotta slow down. And make sure you know what you're doing.
But it's crazy that people scam though. Like real quick, I really don't understand. Like it's so easy to make money right now. That is, I don't get it. I don't get it. It's like it's better to make a bot, invest in a new project, boom, and flip. Like if you're that smart, like just fucking make a bot and just buy all the collections at the beginning and flip them. I don't know, man. It's just kind of weird.
Yeah, the amount of energy they put into that scam, they could just be legit and make a bunch of money that way.
I think they enjoy it.
Yeah, I think exactly. I was just saying, I think some people just kind of enjoy it, man. They enjoy like, I scammed this person, I got over on these people, and I feel like it's a very small handful of people, but once again, they're on the offense and we're on the defense, and that's kind of the same thing with hackers, anything like that. Like they're on the offense looking for those vulnerabilities, and we're over here just trying to live life. And so it sucks, man. Yeah, it definitely takes a real salty ass person to be a scammer.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny there. I mean, side note, but like, there's plenty of videos out there of like, honestly, we should start doing that on the channel. Just like start figuring out ways to debunk the scammers and like get them, I don't know, like exposed. There's some like,
that's what I'm saying. That's what, like, you see that on Twitter. On Twitter, a lot of times where people will investigate wallets and find out who these scammers are, man. And obviously, a little hard with decentralized technology, because maybe it's just going back to a wallet, not necessarily tied to somebody's name or anything like that. But depending on the level, I've definitely seen some high level, like hacking anti-hackers, right? Like people who are really good at it, and they'll go in and investigate all these things like, oh, this dumbass was trying to scam people, but left this back door open, or left this little trail that I followed, and then boom, the FBI's at their house and is like, hey, you try to sell the
knock.
Yeah, you try to, like a 15-year-old kid, you try to sell the ETH that you scam people out of after you hacked Twitter and told everybody. Did you guys remember that kid? He hacked Twitter and like then a bunch of people's profiles, and then sent tried to cash the ETH out on Coinbase and like connected to his guy. I'm like, come on, man. It's like so that's the trails may be there, so we may be able to get them.
And yeah, wait, wasn't he like also posting stuff in the blockchain like records that was like like, haha, I got you guys, or something like that.
I don't remember that, but I mean,
Probably.
pretty stupid. I guess it could have been.
Yeah,
Didn't he like
scammers
try to
always
give
slip
it
up.
back though?
Yes,
Didn't he try to give back the ETH?
or
I think
something
so,
like
yeah.
that. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I feel like he made an apology or something. It was like, I'll give it back.
I don't
Or
know. Well,
something.
Don't hurt
Maybe-
me, I'll give back the ETH.
yeah, maybe the FBI is a
Don't
bit
put me in
more.
jail forever, please.
Yeah.
Maybe the FBI will be more lenient on what they still probably consider magic internet money. So who knows? But yeah, moving on to our last segment here, and something that maybe is the elephant in the room that not everyone's talking about out there. Your favorite crypto influencer, other than us, maybe isn't talking about out there. But this segment's going to be talking about how to survive a bear market. Not saying that's what's happening exactly right now, but in case it is, we're going to give you our tips on how to survive, because that's all that matters in the end. Because ultimately it's going up. All that matters is you guys don't go solvent in between now and then. So Kyle, let me start with Miss Teen Crypto. What are some new or some things new crypto investors should consider when jumping into, like, say, blockchain gaming, NFTs, and the metaverse right now and going into the rest of this year?
Honestly, just do your own research. Make sure you know what you're looking for. If you're investing in a game, make sure you look up other games on that blockchain. Just look at what you're interested in. Just like Stache said, take your time. You have to do your due diligence and make sure you cross-check, of course, Twitters, look at telegrams of projects or discords of projects, see what the communities are like. Overall, just get a sense of what's going on with that specific project. Do your own research and take your time. Honestly, any time is a good time to jump into crypto, but of course, it just depends on the project. But of course, it's just not too late to start with Bitcoin at any point.
What's so funny, Cagy? What?
It's funny because she's a Bitcoiner like Maxi,
I'm not a maxi.
She's a Maxi. She's a
Bitcoin Maxi.
She's a 100% Maxi.
Nowhere near it.
Okay.
She's all up on wax, like doing NFTs on wax. Like, how are you gonna say she's a maxi?
I'm literally sponsored.
Yeah, but she started as a Bitcoiner. Like she's truly at the end of the day, she's a maxi.
Well, hold on. That's where everyone
Honestly,
should
no.
start. That's where everybody should start. Honestly, and that's my opinion. Is whenever anybody asks me about crypto that's brand new, I always say you start with Bitcoin. Trust me.
It was a joke. It was a joke. All right.
You're cut. That's it.
No.
Mute this guy. What is going on? Who's running the show, man?
Did you
get him out of here.
Video?
No, I actually really liked it. So
Okay.
Bitcoin reminds me of like a mutual fund. It's super conservative. It's going to go up a little bit over time. But yeah, if you want those good gains, there's always those alts,
I mean, Bitcoin is still outpacing like every other stock, like investment out there. I mean, like, you say, oh, it's the slow moving guy, but like when you compare it to every other investment vehicle, it's literally crushing it. So it's funny to say like, oh, it's the mutual fund of
crypto and NFT guys are numb. We're all numb.
Right, no, exactly. Come on, mainline me that shit in here, man.
Yeah.
I gotta have it now.
Less than 100x. I don't want it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's
oh my gosh. Just be patient. Hodl.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Diamond hands, right? Even though
Diamond hands.
even though taking profits should be done in where appropriate, but diamond hands your convictional bags, your big long hodl bags. But Kyle, let me ask you. What is your plan for this year if we go, say, into like a year long or more bear market, or like what is your plan in the opposite case? Like, what are you doing if we recover from here?
Yeah. So if we go into a bear, I'm looking at the big layer ones, the big dogs that are proven, they're going to be around. The Bitcoins, Ethereums, the ones that are common sense, right? And then I'm going to maybe get out of the little bit risky altcoins. I'm also maybe going to accumulate some blue chip NFT projects that, are going to also be around. They have strong communities. I think those things are kind of, easy plays and they make sense for the long term. But, as the bull market comes, you said taking profits is important. And I think that's also great. You want to kind of sell a little bit off into, the strength. When the market's pumping big, there's a lot of hype. Mark Zuckerberg's announcing Metaverse, and you might take a little bit of those profits off the table. So in case a bear does happen, you have some money to invest back into, cheap altcoins and good coins that are going to be around for a long time.
You mentioned you would buy a blue chip NFT right now. So let me ask you this, man. Like, if it like any circumstance, like it doesn't matter you have unlimited funds in the bank account, or maybe not unlimited because then,
unlimited power.
Then my question is invalid because unlimited money, it doesn't matter if you lose it.
That would be boring.
It's unlimited. Yeah. But all right, so say you have double what it costs to buy a punk or a Bored Ape. Would you buy one right now?
Well, I'd probably not buy those, but there's a couple of them that I probably would buy or I would look at. Just the past few days, I think Cagy's have been down pretty good, and I might look at a few of those. Or, there's like Subducks and just like
Subducks. That's right.
Yeah, those they're not like grails, if you will, but they're like blue chips, and so I would look at those when they're down and kind of accumulate a little bit there, and then as they rise back up, then you can sell again or keep them or do whatever you want with them. And some of them offer yields and things like that, or hashtag Neo Tokyo S2s, baby.
I don't know about that.
I think, dude, I'm super hype about passive income NFTs. We'll see. Well, I mean, actually, I'm pretty sure. Isn't there some kind of there is passive income happening with the Bytes token currently, right? For that, correct me if I'm wrong.
For like Series 1 or S1 Neo Tokyo Citizens, you can yield, and then S2s, they have like a feature that is like an allotment or something like that, but there's no details on that just yet. So
no details from a Becker project. I'm surprised by that. Wow.
But yeah, the Bytes speculation where hopefully has a lot of utility. So, but yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry, man. I'm not trying to hate, but kind of.
Kind of, just a little bit. Well,
yeah, Becker, you're a motherfucker. Let him know.
Whoa.
I just kidding.
Come on the show to defend yourself. Come
on the show to defend yourself. Gauntlet thrown down. Bam.
Come on the show to defend yourself.
Clip it and chip it.
Clipping that bad boy. Clip it.
But
I'm kidding.
But no, man. Well, I mean, we'll see what I think. They have a long road to go, especially with the two of them innovating. We'll see what comes of it. But Stache, let me ask you, do you think that it's a good idea to invest in like NFTs or blockchain games right now compared to say like you said, like Bitcoin, for example, if you're new to the space?
I mean, if you're new to the space,
even with a tiny bit of like your portfolio.
Yeah, I mean, if you're new to the space, I would still say that going with a top coin. If you're brand new and you're like, I don't know anything about crypto, I'm just getting in. I wouldn't advise you like go jump into NFTs. Like that's a well down the line. There's so many steps you have to get there. The barrier to entry for NFTs is still kind of high, man. But buying Bitcoin would always be my number one thing if you're brand new. Now, that's not really the same as a bear market strategy. In particular, for a bear market, you have to look at where you kind of stand in your positions. Is the thing you're holding, is it something that you believe in long term? Because a lot of people, don't have the same amount of time that we all have to spend in this industry. We always kind of assume that like, hey, everyone's spending, 5, 6, 7 hours a day talking, looking at crypto, looking at charts, checking prices. And that's not the case for most people out there. Most people don't have the time to do that. So, once you start getting really diverse amount of assets, it may be hard to understand what's going on in the market every single day, know when the best time was to take profits. So, I mean, for the busy people out there, I would say that, hodling is not a bad idea, but have a plan. If you bought something and you think, hey, I'm buying a sandbox land, I know for sure this is a long-term hold. I'm going to hold it for the next 2 years. You could say, oh man, well, the metaverse blew up and Facebook is now on board as Meta. So, Facebook, sandbox land has gone up. I'm going to sell some now and take some profits off the table. Well, you may be regretting that in another year time, because those are assets that are not going to go back down below that price that you'll be able to buy back in. So that's something you always have to keep in consideration. Tokens are a lot easier to do that with, but NFT assets not as much, and so I think that in particular for some of these ones that have a long-term value like this, we may not see it go down that low. We may not see another good buying opportunity to match something like that. So I would say always just kind of understand that you need to have some sort of plan going into each thing and just execute on that plan. Sometimes it may hurt, but if you said, hey, I'm buying this token now and I think that it's going to be a short-term or medium-term hold, look at that, take the profits when they're ready, and then don't look back, but determine what those things are going to be before you ape into them. And that way, when a bear market like this hits, you understand what your strategy is going to be. Like, hey, I'm not panic selling because I didn't know what to do. I wasn't thinking about this. Now it's a bear market. I'm losing all my money. I should have took profits. Oh my gosh, sell now because I need to be able to recoup some of my losses. Well, if you had just held on for another year, you may be able to get those and more versus trying to take that loss. So I'd always say, in a bear market, don't take an unnecessary loss. Have that long-term plan. And know that people who have held during these markets, like I don't always go and take profits on Bitcoin and things like that. I just straight hold, and I've always done well. Now, could I have made maybe a little bit more by flipping it, buying it back low? Like, sure. If I'm going to pay more attention to the markets and put more time into that type of stuff, then yeah, I definitely would. But I'd rather be gaming or hanging out with my family or, I don't know, drink with buddies, going out, doing things that I enjoy versus sitting in front of a damn computer watching to make sure, even with stop losses and other things, it can be, quite intensive time wise.
Yeah, and the danger lies too in, like you're saying, if you can afford to hold. But the danger,
you can, exactly. But and you're right. That's a good question. And like I said, it all comes down to your personal plan. If you can afford to hold, then definitely don't. Like I said, that's something you need to take in consideration. You really shouldn't ever, be investing more than you're willing to lose. So if you can't handle that investment going to absolute zero and losing everything, then it probably was an investment you should make. And I know a lot of people break that rule. Looking for big gains, and that's something that you definitely have to take into consideration. So that's when you do need to be watching and knowing exactly where the X is going to be. You have to even have a better plan at that point and know exactly where you need to get out and do it and not get greedy. Because there's times where I've gotten greedy with buy orders and sell orders thinking like, oh, if it just goes one more cent lower, I'm buying $10,000, and then it doesn't, I miss out. And then, or vice versa, it's like, oh, if it just goes a little bit high, then I'm going to sell. And then it doesn't. And I did, and I missed my orders and then I got nothing, so the greed is also a bear market poor person maker. That is
a bear market poor person maker.
Bear market poor person. Greed will make you a poor man in the bear market if you succumb to it.
50x leverage.
Definitely no leverage, man. It doesn't matter what market it is. That's just gonna get you wrecked no matter what's going on, man.
Yeah,
that's
don't put 50x on Shiba or anything. Sorry if you're a Shiba fan.
Yeah, Chiba is solid, bro.
The degens out there aren't going to like that advice, man. The degens out there aren't going to like that advice.
If you're a degen, like, who cares? You just go into it anyways, and then you just accept it, and then you're losing all the time.
All right, crypto's boring. What basketball game's on? What's the line tonight? Like, but Cagy, we're running out of time, and I want to get you last but not least here. Thinking about where we're at in the market today. And the rest of this year, like, what are some end of the year price predictions for your favorite coins, or like predictions in general, I guess, not to put you on the spot?
Fuck, man. I'm not a guru. I am a guru. Okay. I'm a juicer. Okay. No, but really, I don't like to predict.
No exact numbers, but like,
I don't like to predict, but the final.
Just say AXS.
No, but definitely the Ron token. No, definitely. Look. Going back to what Stache said, okay? At the beginning, you don't want to be like, all over the place in the market. But once you get an experience, that is the best thing to do. Go into many good projects, and some of them will pump, even in the bear market. Right now, I have like 9 subducts that I haven't touched, but the coin went up. The coin for the subduct that I've been generating went up, so I sold some of it, right? And I made profits. With something that is generating, passively. And everything else is wrecked. The subduct went up, right? And then you got Embersword lands, for example. They're selling right now. They're actually double in ETH. Not necessarily in dollars, but in ETH it's doubled already. So I bought those lands before December I bought them at 0.1. And now I can sell them, and they're selling like hot cookies. So I'm good. I'm chilling. So I have a bunch of projects where I can make profits in the bear market. So I'm so diversified that I'm good. So I think that's my strategy, right? To have many good, solid projects that I can take profits in It doesn't matter in what moment I'm in, whether it's bear market or bull market. Even Sandbox right now, you can sell a land for 3.5. I bought them for like 0.4 or something like that, 0.3 or some shit like that on OpenSea back then. So right now I can sell them and they'll sell.
Yeah, it almost seems like some of these NFT projects are a little bear resistant. You know, they don't really move hard as crypto.
It's because there's no liquidity.
That's part of it too. I mean,
it's because there's no liquidity.
But you got projects like the Sandbox. You got Cyberkongs. They sell the Cyberkongs. They sell all of them right now. I'm profit right now. If I were to sell all my VX right now, they're profit, all of them. Yeah, and that's solid because there's a bunch of millionaires in Cyberkong. So I'm good. I'm chilling. Somebody will buy. So
or they use those NFTs as almost like a store of their Ethereum or their crypto, and they'll just hold on to those, through a bear, and then when it comes back up, then they're good to go, and it goes up 2x more.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the same thing is that you can do it with NFTs, you can do it with tokens, but you're right. I think that what we're seeing here is going to be the NFTs and gaming focused assets in general. I think that they'll be a little bit more bear proof. Not completely. I'm not going to say that they're not going to be a dip, but that's something that we haven't really seen. In my opinion, we haven't seen a true NFT bear market, because NFTs in the last bear market, NFTs were really not very popular. I was still shilling the shit out of them and trying to get people on board, and no one was like, NFTs, what are you talking about? But during that last bear market, there wasn't enough where it made sense. But now with all the growth that we've seen in the industry for NFTs and for gaming in the last 2 years, it's going to be very interesting to see how they play out here in this bear market. And I do think that they're going to maybe hold a little bit more value than some other tokens like that out there. But
it's what Alex said
there would be a little bit of a decrease.
It's not that easy to sell, right? You need a buyer, so it's
right,
not that easy to go
right. Even if there's people buying it, like the liquidity and how quickly you can buy and sell is much far less than a token. So there is more risk there for sure. Like a good for instance, like I bought a like a really rare wax based Ryu mint number 1. And like the highest like rarity, right? I bought it right when it came out, and I ended up. It took me, I don't know, man, like 12 months or 11 months to sell that thing finally for a profit. And I didn't sell for much. I mean, wax is a little bit different, like that. But it's one of those things where it's like it seems like it's a really good idea, and long term it did hold its value, but it took me a long time to sell it. Just because there wasn't as many buyers, and especially when you look at these projects that get up to crazy amounts. There are only X amount of people who have enough Ethereum and enough interest to buy a Bored Ape, or to buy a CryptoPunk, or to buy a Cyberkong. And the higher they go up, the less people are. It's deducing the amount of people, or deducting the amount of people that actually have availability to buy those things. So you got to keep that in consideration. The bigger the asset, the harder it's going to be to sell. Something like a Subduck or like some of these other projects that's a little bit smaller. People can afford those still, and there's more people that have the ability to do so. So,
farm Roam token. Yeah, that's all I gotta tell you. Farm that shit, cause that we're going to the moon, baby.
Hey, FTX futures already launched, man. It's like what, $4 or something like that. I mean,
that's not worth $4. That's worth easily $20. Easily. No. That's a price.
There it is. Price prediction. We got it out of it.
Next year.
$20.
No.
Clip it.
Clip it. Shake
it. I give it 3 months for $20. Put my name on it.
Okay.
I predict.
Well, what if it doesn't?
Well, yeah. What, Patty?
Well, if it doesn't, it doesn't.
No, if it doesn't, what do you have to do then? What something you have to do on the show live?
I don't have another prediction.
All right. All right. Yeah. Well, we're running out of time, guys. I want to thank you again for joining us on Around the Metaverse this Monday. My last note, I guess, in terms of NFTs in this, bear market, if that's what you want to call it, keep an eye out for anything that's going to give you the opportunity to get any sort of passive income, which I think gaming NFTs fall within that. There are a bunch of other opportunities out there giving passive income too, outside of gaming. So just keep an eye out on those things. And I think that's going to be a great strategy if we are in some kind of bear market. But before you guys go, don't forget to check out all these great people in the description below. Follow their channels and make sure you show them some CryptoStache love too.
Smash that like.
Yeah, smash that like button. And this has been Around the Metaverse. Thank you guys for joining, and catch you next Monday. We out.
Peace.